Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we'll be covering the part 2 of grade 10 lesson 1 background of businesses. So without a further ado, let's get started. Okay, so in the previous video I have talked to you about the first 4 topics under this lesson. So in this video I will be covering the last 3 topics under this lesson, which are the factors of production, stakeholders of the business, objectives and the contributions of stakeholders. Okay, now we'll see what is meant by factors of production. So if we take a business, they require different types of resources, or we call them as raw materials, to produce goods and services. So these resources which are required to produce goods and services are known as the factors of production. So basically there are 4 types of factors of production. Those are land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. We'll be discussing these one by one. First we'll see what is meant by land. All the natural resources available are considered as land. It includes resources on the surface of the land as well as resources in the inner part of the land. So land means the natural resources. So it could be either on the surface of the land. For example, if we take forest, soil, they are on the surface. We can see them. And as well as in the inner part of the land. For example, we can take minerals. They are inside the land. So, but whether it could be on the surface or in the inner part of the land, these could be natural resources for it to be considered as land. If we consider a paddy field, is it coming under land? No, it is not coming under land because a paddy field is made by man. So under land, we are considering only the natural resources, not man-made things. So this is the simplest understanding, the simplest explanation of land. Now we'll see what is meant by labor. If you take a business, there are different types of people working in a business. So the mental and the physical contribution done by such people in a business is known as labor. Like if we take the workers in mines or if we take sanitary laborers, we consider them as individuals rendering physical efforts. They are physically doing their job. So it is the physical contribution. If we take people like accountants, managers, they are not doing anything physical, but they are using their mental efforts in the business. So those kind of people we call as doing a mental contribution to the business. So this is what meant by labor. Okay, so the third factor is capital. Anything produced by man in order to facilitate manufacturing process is known as capital. So capital is simply anything which is made by man. For example, if we take machinery, buildings, motor vehicles, money. Yes, even money is considered as capital because it is printed by man. So anything which are made or produced by man to facilitate the manufacturing process, to help in the production process, we call them as capital. Okay, the final factor of production is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship encompasses the role of organizing factors of production such as land, labor and capital required for production in order to start and conduct a manufacturing process. So simply entrepreneurship means when a person uses the other factors of production, the land, labor and capital, to start and conduct a manufacturing process. That means an entrepreneur is simply a person who is starting a business and he is using land, labor and capital for the production process. An entrepreneur takes the risk, creates innovations and takes decisions with regard to the business. So starting a business means taking a risk, and he is starting a new thing. He is innovating and he takes different decisions with regard to the business. So this is simply the concept of entrepreneurship. So I hope you understand the 4 factors of production. Okay, then we are moving on to another very important part of this lesson. So this has been frequently tested in your exams as well. So this is the stakeholders of business. Who is a stakeholder? So if we take a business, there are different parties who exhibit an interest in the business. So there are different people who are looking at a business to achieve different types of objectives. So if we take owners, the customers, managers, employees, suppliers, competitors, financial institutions, community, likewise. So these stakeholders could be inside the business as well as from the outside of the business. So we will be discussing each and every stakeholder one by one. Okay, first we'll see owners. Owners are the persons providing resources to the business. The owner of a business can be either a single person or a group of persons. So if we take a business, there are several people who provide the resources to start the business. Maybe a land, maybe a machinery, maybe a building, maybe money, like that. So this owner could be a single person. There are businesses operated by one person or a group of persons. There are businesses operated by 2 people. We call them as partnerships. There are companies. The companies are owned by shareholders. There may be 100 shareholders for a company. So those are the owners. Managers. The business operations are conducted and decisions of the owners are implemented by managers. In large-scale businesses, there can be number of managers such as finance manager, marketing manager, etc. So if we take a business, the decisions are taken by the owners. But the people who are implementing the decisions are known as managers. So if we take a large scale business, they have different departments, like if we say finance department, marketing, HR, operations. So for each and every department, they have different managers. So those managers are responsible for implementing the decisions related to their particular department. So that is what we call as managers. And then customers. Customers are the persons who buy goods and services from a business. They can buy these goods either with the reselling motive or with the motive to use on own consumption. So if we take customers, they are the people who are buying goods and services from a business. There are several customers like retailers, wholesalers. They are buying products from a particular organization and they are reselling them. But if we take, there are customers like you and me, maybe we are buying products from we say a supermarket and we are using them for our own consumption. So those are the customers of a business. And then suppliers. Suppliers are the providers of raw materials, transport facilities, etc. to a business. So to conduct a business, we need raw materials for our production process. We need several transportation facilities. So the people or the organizations who are providing these raw materials or the transport facilities, we call them as suppliers. And then competitors. Competitors are other businesses producing or selling similar goods or service to a business in operation. So who are our competitors? So competitors are the businesses which are producing and selling similar goods to our goods. So there are two types of toothpaste in the market. If we take Signal, it is one type of toothpaste. It is offered by one company. If we take Loga, it is another type of toothpaste. Like that, there are businesses who are providing competitive products. We call them as competitors. Then financial institutions. Financial institutions are the institutions providing required loans, consultancy services, etc. to a business. So for example, if we take banks, they are providing loans to start business, to conduct the operations like that. So these are the organizations we consider as financial institutions. And then employees. Individuals performing the operations of a business are known as employees. So the people who are working in a business, we call them as employees. Government. The government propagates policies required to achieve economic growth of a country. So what is government? So government is the institution which make the policies to achieve the economic growth of a country. They make different policies to regulate the businesses. So that is what we call as government. Community includes the population living outside of the business in the society. So community means other than the above mentioned stakeholders, all the other people in the society who are interested in the businesses. So those are the people we call as community. So accordingly, these are the people who are considered as the stakeholders of a business. Okay, then we are going to discuss about the expected contribution from the stakeholders. So first we take owners. So what would be the objective of owners from a business? Security of the investment, earning a sufficient profit, growth of the business operations in future. So if we take owners are the people who are making an investment. So they need to ensure that their investments are secure. The business is doing well and they need to have a sufficient profit for their investment. And they are expecting the business will grow in the future. So these are the objectives of owners. And then the customers. Obtaining products at a reasonable price. The customers want to get products at a reasonable price. And then obtaining a quality product. So customers do not like to get low quality products. They are expecting quality products for the price they pay. And then the managers. Taking decisions required to achieve the objectives. So they are the people who implement the decisions to achieve the objectives. Implementing those decisions, then they are implementing the decisions. Promotion and job satisfaction. So they are expecting different promotions and job satisfaction from their work. And then we have the suppliers. Securing orders continuously. So if we take a business supplier, they want the particular organizations to continuously get products from them. So that is where their profit depends. And obtaining money without any delay. So most of the time they may be giving products for credit. So they need to obtain the money without any delay. So those will be the objectives of suppliers. If we consider competitors, to determine the prices of own products. So they are looking at another business to determine the price of their own products. They are looking at competitive products. how the competitors are pricing their products. So based on that, they are determining the price of own products to face the competitions. So my business will be looking at the other similar business to determine how I can face the competition. What are their strategies to get a better understanding about the other competitors. And then we are talking about the financial institutions. If you take financial institutions, they are focused on collecting loans and advances. They are giving us loans, they are giving us advances. So they are focusing on collecting those loans, providing more loans and advances. And then they are providing more loans, more advances. So those will be their objectives. Employees receiving a fair wage or a salary. So employees expect to get a fair wage or a salary for their work and the job security. So they require a security in their job. They should be ensured that they will not lose this job. Like that. Government collecting taxes due. So government is collecting taxes based on the income of a company. So that will be one objective of government. Generating employment opportunities. So they are objective towards generating employment opportunities. And then increasing the domestic production. So they are looking at a business to increase the domestic production. Community. Analyzing whether the business activities are conducted in an environmentally friendly manner. The community is looking at whether this business is doing eco-friendly work, whether they are harming the environment, like that. Analyzing whether business contributes to the social welfare. So if we consider the present businesses, they are mainly focusing on doing different CSR activities, different welfare activities to maintain their business position, like that. Okay, now we have come to the final part under this chapter, expected contribution from the stakeholders. So first we'll take owners. So the example of the contributions include contributing adequate capital. The owner should provide adequate amount of capital. Could be money, could be buildings, could be a land to start the business. Being dedicated and enthusiastic about business activities. The owners can't just start a business and keep it like that. They have to be dedicated. They have to be very enthusiastic about their own business. They have to do the required activities to grow it, like that. Supervising business activities. The owners need to supervise the managers, all the employees. So that's how they can get a better return from their business. And then the managers. Implementing business plans appropriately. So the decisions taken by the owner should be implemented properly by the managers. If they do not implement the plans properly, that would end up causing a destruction to the business. So they should be very careful when implementing plans. Taking correct decision. Sometimes not only implementing, they have to take several decisions in different situations. So they have to be very logical and very thoughtful and make correct decisions. Employees. Appropriately completing the task assigned. So when a task is assigned to a particular employee, they should complete it appropriately. They should do the correct thing. If not, it would cause harm to the organization. It would damage the reputation. Increasing the productivity of labor. So employees should always try to do their work at their best skill. They should be very productive in conducting their job. Let's move on to suppliers. Supplying quality raw materials continuously. So the suppliers have to provide the quality raw materials to the businesses. If they are not providing quality raw materials, there are plenty of supply, so the business will move on to another supply. Supplying raw materials in time. So if the supply is not supplying their raw materials in time, it will be harmful to the other business, or they may be move on to another supply. Like that. Government providing business friendly incentives. The government has to provide different incentives for the businesses, different favorable policies. So these are the expected contributions from different stakeholders in a business. Okay guys, with that we have come to the end of part 2 of your first lesson. So don't just watch the video, write down the important things we have discussed here so that you can get a better understanding of your first lesson, background of businesses. And I'm hoping to bring the second lesson as soon as possible. So let's meet in the next video.